Hi there, and welcome to the GPS to Success podcast. I'm Brianna Hendley, business coach, strategist, and your guide to building a business that gives you more profit and more freedom while still creating meaningful time and memories with your family. If you're a busy entrepreneur or executive who's ready to double your profits and triple your time off, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll be sharing mindset must-haves, time-saving tips, team-building strategies, and proven revenue-boosting ideas you can use right away. Let's dive in. What we're going to be talking about today specifically is doing an end-of-year review. We are sitting at the end. When I'm recording this, it is November. So we're sitting at the end of this year, 2025. And as with any year, you should always be doing a review. Quite frankly, you should be doing a weekly review to see how well you're doing, if you're tracking on your KPIs, if whatever the case may be. It should be something that if it's important to pay attention to, you should be paying attention to it. Now, I say all these shoulds, but first you have to figure out what the heck should I be paying attention to? So when you do an end of year review, it really allows you the opportunity to think about what went well, what didn't go so well, and what you would like to change moving forward. Now, if you're not doing these regular reviews on a weekly basis, on a monthly, or even on a quarterly basis, and you're just taking a look at how everything has flushed out at the end of the year, that's almost like no different than taking a look at your taxes when it's time to pay the taxes. At that point, it's a little bit too late, and it does provide data. So if that is the case, at the very least, you have some data that you know how you want to move forward, or you know what you can change, you know what you can tweak, you know what you liked, you know what you didn't like for this next year. So a couple key things that you should definitely be paying attention to for your business, for your life, and for your world. I want you to, first of all, think about, how did this year feel? How did this year feel? Can you go back and almost look at your calendar and see specific calendar appointments or meetings and go back to say, oh yeah, I was with this person. This is what we did. Okay, so that was good. The next month, oh, I remember this thing happened, and that necessarily wasn't the best thing that could have happened. And then the next month, oh yeah, that month was good. The next month, not so much. Or yeah, we had a couple really good months. Or I wish this would have been different. Just take the time to go back and look through your calendar. If you are somebody who journals, one of the things that I speak to my clients about is journaling the things that they're grateful for in the morning. And then in the evening, journaling what their wins are. And typically those wins, some of them can be really, really good. They can be like, oh my gosh, we won this new contract. We won this new client today. And sometimes there are things that aren't so good that you're really trying to figure out, what is that silver lining here? So what is that thing that I can learn? If it's, hey, this awful, terrible thing happened, but what can I glean from this? What is it that I can turn around and say, okay, this didn't go well, but let's make sure that we never have this issue again. So if that's the case, what are the things that we need to put in place to ensure that we don't have this issue again? So can you kind of follow along with me when it comes to talking about those wins? When you are talking about those wins specifically, being able to turn it around, what is that silver lining? What is that thing that I can definitely learn from this so I know how to move forward? And then I also want you to pay attention and look at, where was that negative stuff that happened? And the reason why I want you to take a look at that, because I want you to really think about this thing happened to me, very similar to the winds. This thing happened to me. And because this happened, we were able to do X, or it opened up this new opportunity, or I was able to, you understand the direction that I'm going. So I have a mentor that, and I think I've talked about it before. If not, I'm going to talk about it here again, that I have a mentor that says, I love it when bad stuff happens, because to me, I think it as it like fertilizer, like the poo that's going to fertilize the plant. It's going to fertilize the things that are to come. And that might be a very Pollyanna way to look at something. I think it's extremely positive way to look at something, because when we're constantly going through our day, and if all we're looking at and all we're seeing is all this negative stuff, then all we're going to notice is the negative stuff. And when you notice negative things, you continue to see, you continue to attract those negative things. Why? Because that's what you're paying attention to. When you're focused on positive things and possibility thinking, then that's what you start attracting. That's what you start paying attention to. Those are the things that you're looking at and you're seeing come to fruition. Now, some of those things are still happening when you're looking at the negative. You just don't pay attention to it because you're not looking at the good stuff. And we have a choice on if we're happy, if we're sad in this life, this only life that we have. So why not have the best possible attitude you can have? Why not constantly be looking for good things to happen in spite of bad things happening? Again, it's kind of like, what is that silver lining? Now, I'm not talking about everything, but I'm talking about most of the things that we go through in life. There's some really cool stuff that happens. And I've shared this too. Oh my gosh, it was one of the things that I was talking to my husband about this week. I was so hell-bent on getting this one piece of business. I prayed and I begged and I'm just like, Lord, give me this piece of business. This is going to change everything. This is going to be a game changer. And I was able to get the piece of business. And now that I'm in the midst of the business, I'm like, Lord, I can't believe I asked for this. I'm like, what was I thinking? So even though there might be some things that, again, I have a very good tendency to see the positive, and I always will, and that will never change. So you can't say to me like, well, see, that's what you get. Nope, that is what I get. Thank you. And it's all going to turn out fantastic. I know it will, because it will. It will turn out fantastic. I'm going to learn so many different lessons, and I'm going to come out of this a stronger person. And that's how I look at it. What is the fruit that I'm able to bear from this challenging or difficult season? So that's how I choose to look at things. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same. So it might give you a different perspective on the things that are currently going on in your life. And different perspectives are actually a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. And it allows you to potentially see how there might be new possibility. There might be new opportunities. When we're constantly thinking in that negative spiral, it doesn't serve us. Why we do it, I think sometimes it kind of feels good. It's like we like having a common enemy. We like complaining. We like just, blaming somebody else. You get the energy, you get the adrenaline going. The anger, it all, again, starts going with the adrenaline. You know what I'm talking about. I've got plenty of family members who are all upset about all things all the time. Whatever's going on in this world, I'm not going to give you anything specific because they're always angry. So there's always something to be angry about. And it kind of makes me sad because I feel like it's unnecessary energy that's being expended, especially on stuff that, number one, you have no control over. Number two, it really isn't serving you. It's not putting you or them in a positive state of mind, and then they're angry the rest of the night. And then, this world's going to whatever. And why? Why? Because my life is pretty daggone good. Even when things aren't going the way that I'd love for them to go all day, every day, I am so thankful and grateful for everything that I have. And I'm so thankful and grateful for you to be listening to this podcast, to be thinking about and focused on how you're going to end this year. And if you could, can you like this podcast and feel free to share it to others who you feel might need it. So as we're talking about thinking and possibilities and being positive and really taking a look at what has happened over this past year, I want you to also think about, how do I want this next year to be? How do I want to show up this next year? Not only with your business, but also those things that we were just talking about before. You're like, oh my gosh, that pained me. I don't ever want to go through that again because of a mistake that I made, or because of working with a particular vendor, working with a particular client. That's not anything that I want to invite into my life again. And I say invite because sometimes that really is what it comes down to. It's not something that I want moving forward. So thinking about, what are the things that I need to put in place to ensure that I'm sitting in a different spot, and start thinking about, what does that different spot look like? If it's financial, specifically when it comes to taxes, maybe you need to hire a bookkeeper because maybe you're not so good at checking out your books. Maybe that's a fear for you that it just keeps you up at night. And then at the end of tax season, you're like, okay, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be, number one. Number two, I've been stressing out about something that really isn't that bad, and it's doable, and we're going to figure it out. Is it the best possible scenario or situation? Maybe not. Can I make it the best possible situation? Yes, you can. Do I need to work with new people? Probably. So maybe you need a bookkeeper. Maybe you need a new CPA. And if you do, that's okay. Start making those changes and start doing those things now. That's half the battle. If you know that there's something that you want to do that's going to make your life easier, and I'm just talking about finances right now, but it could be anything. It could be with your health and fitness. It could be with your relationships. It could be with your faith. It could be spending time with friends. Whatever it is that you're like, oh my gosh, I need to be doing this differently. What are the things that I need to set up? And then move forward and set them up. I want you to feel that pain to have that be the momentum enough, that fire underneath your butt, to move forward, to spend the money that you need to spend, to make the decisions that you need to make, so you're not sitting in the same position. And I know for some of you, it's the same position that you've been sitting in for the past 5 years, for the past 10 years. And you're like, I'm used to it. I've been in this uncomfortable place, and now it's almost become comfortable. Ew. What would you say to somebody if they said that? Get off your butt and go do something, right? Stop doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. And we don't have time for that. There's plenty of other things in our world that are fighting so hard to distract us and to make us lose focus. Let it not be out of our own laziness and comfort level just because we don't either know what next step to take, or we know the next step to take. We just don't want to put the money out for it. At the end of the day, it is going to pay off like nobody's business. So again, I want to make sure, and I'm speaking this because I've experienced this. I have been there with you if you're sitting in that space. I understand what that feels like. And can I just say, it feels so good to have freedom from that. So think about, again, what does that look like for my finances? What does that look like for my health, my wellness, my fitness? Did I go to the doctor? Did you go to the doctors most recently? And maybe you're not as fit as you thought you were. Maybe certain blood panels came back, high cholesterol, blood pressure, whatever it is, and your doctor wants to put you on some type of medication. If you don't mind that, that's fine. If you want something better and you know that you're capable and it would be really helpful with you, your mind, your body, if you were able to create some structure that you could start working out, that you could start eating better, then start doing different things. By the way, I've got a coach. If you are looking for a coach that's focused on nutrition, I got a coach. He's also does personal training. So if that's something that you're interested in, I got a guy. And I'm sure there's plenty other people out there. But make that decision, make that choice to move forward. Make that choice to move forward. Doing this part of the analyzing and the planning is all a part of Stephen Covey's section 2. The things that are not urgent and important. So those things that you can sit there and wait because there's nobody knocking on your door. You can eat all the chocolate that you want, and you can continue expanding in your waistline, and you can continue huffing and puffing as you go up the stairs because there isn't an immediate or an urgent need. Now, is it something that needs to be attended to? Oh, heck yes, it is. It's not urgent until it is. And that's why the planning piece is so important, because it helps us to take away the reactivity to urgent issues. So for example, if you look at Stephen Covey, it's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Quadrant number 1 is urgent and important. So those are all those hot button urgent things that you have to pay attention to. If you have a family member that's in the hospital, if you need to go into the hospital, you have to stop everything and go. If you have something going on with your business and things are literally falling to the ground, you need to stop what you're doing and focus on those things. So those are those things, those urgent and important, those get your heart rate up and get you going. And if you're spending all your time doing that, it doesn't serve you at all. And if you're just waiting for something terrible to happen, like we talked about before, and you're more than welcome to keep living a lifestyle where you're just running on all 8 cylinders all the time. And you don't have to do that. You don't. I swear to you, you do not. You do not have to do that. So some of the things that we talk about here at the GPS to Success is really honing in and focusing on your time, your team, and your money. And when you're planning, it helps you to be able to ensure that you're doing things that help your business. You're doing things that help your team. You're doing things that make most sense for you and the life that you want to live. It's paying attention. What do I want my life to be like? What do I want that outcome to be? What does that look like in 10 years? What does that look like in 30 years? And I feel like the older that I get, that 30 years is coming closer. I'm like, ooh, okay, what is going to happen in 30 years? That's kind of a big deal. Yeah. I mean, I like to say 40, but I think I'm, 30, 35. It's like, it's kind of sitting, looking at me in the face. I want to extend my life. I want to get to that 50 more years, 53 to be exact. So I want to extend that, but there's certain things that I have to do in my life in order for that to happen. I need to make enough money. I need to forge fantastic relationships with my kids, or else they're not going to want me around and they're going to stick me in a nursing home. I need to really dial in on my health and my fitness, because that's going to enable me to live independently as long as I can. And I am 47 years old. These are the things that I'm thinking about now because I've got the energy to change it. Things aren't an emergency in my life. I've got excellent blood pressure. I've got all my vital signs. All my vitals are fantastic. I have a little ring that tracks everything, my steps. I have the coach that works with me, and he kicks my tail to get me in line. I've got all these things in place with purpose. And if we're not living with purpose, then we're allowing everything else to dictate everything that we do. Now, I'm assuming that most of you who are listening to this are old enough that you're either older than me, you're my age, or you're a little younger than me. And all of us are in this place because we are living our lives with purpose, whether we have our businesses that we're doing this because it was a calling that was placed on our heart that we're like, oh yes, I definitely have to do this. This is why I was put on this earth to do this. Or it's one of those things that I just love what I do. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to do this. This just makes me so happy. Or I've got big goals and I want to make as much money as I possibly can. So when I get to that point where I can't make that money anymore, I feel secure in what's going on. Whatever it is for you. I don't know what it is for you. You have to figure that out. And once you do, we got to go, you know what, to the walls, like rock it out. It's really kicking it into high gear and moving when we can, when we've got the energy, when we're ready to go. So when we're 60, 70 years old, we don't have to work so hard. We don't need to work so hard. We can work because we want to. So the planning starts now. So once you start thinking about what that looks like, I want you to actually get your calendar out. Get your calendar out. I know this says 2025 because I was doing my year-end review and I was looking at my calendar. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these places that I went last year. Went to California, went to UCLA. My daughter's out in UCLA. Went to Nashville numerous times this past year. Went down to Boca Raton, Florida to go visit with some consultants. Went down to Florida, did some stuff down there. So it's like all these different things I can go back and I can look. I'm like, wow, I've really been in Nashville a lot. Wow, I've really been to Los Angeles a lot. It's like, that's interesting. So there's been a lot of things that have gone on, and I want to focus my next year into being something that I can look back at the end of the year and be like, oh yeah, I knocked it out of the park. This is awesome. This feels good. I'm exactly where I need to be. And if I'm not exactly where I need to be on everything, then I at least know where I can adjust. So if you don't even know where you can adjust, let's start over. Let's make this new for this year. Okay? I think so. I think we should make it new. So I've got this handy dandy training. It is Get Your Life Together for 2026. And it is on December 12th. And with this handy dandy training, what the focus is to go through all these things so you are ready to go for next year. So it isn't a question of come December of next year, what did I do? I may have maybe hit one of my goals, but I didn't do nearly as much as I wanted to. There's no reason for that because we are living every single day. Let's make it purposeful. Let's make every single day count. Let's plan those vacations that you want to plan. Let's put those savings accounts together. Let's hire that bookkeeper so you don't have to pay as many taxes. Let's do these things. Put these things in place so you know you've done everything in your power. And yes, it might feel a little uncomfortable. And yes, you are going to be so happy that you did it after the fact. You'll be thanking me later for a number of these things. And I just want you to know what that feels like. I don't care if you thank me. I want you to make this a yearly practice. I would love for it to be a weekly practice, that you're reviewing what you're doing so you can make tweaks and changes each week. So the end of your month is going to be amazing. Instead of waiting till the end of the month to take a look, no, you make them quickly so you can pivot quickly, so you can move, so you can do the things that need to get done. If you want to grow, if you want to make changes, if you want to be purposeful in how you spend your days and how you grow your business and how you live your life. If that's what you want to do, then join me, please, on December 12th. And I look forward to having you. It is a Get Your Life Together 2026. It's only $67. I know that's cheesy. My kids think it's cheesy, and that's why I chose it. So low barrier to entry, and I would absolutely love for you to be there. So check out the link below. I'll look forward to chatting with you then. And in the meantime, have an absolutely fantastic week. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the GPS to Success. I hope today's episode gave you clarity and motivation to take your next step forward. If you want more support, tools, or to check out in-depth trainings, head on over to thegps2success.com. You can also apply to be on the show. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a business owner or executive who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay focused, stay inspired, and keep following your GPS to success.